السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, I guess I was recording this whole video and I didn't even realize I was unpaused. Subhanallah. I was like looking at that number and I was like, why is it still at 2 seconds? It's a new update. Subhanallah, subhanallah. But anyways, at taqwa. Something that obviously we all aspire for, taqwa, right? And increasing our levels of taqwa. And in Surah Al-Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ذلك ومن يعظم شعائر الله فإنها من تقوى القلوب. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard the ayah and listened to it, I thought I assumed that sha'air meant the sharia. Actually, it sounds so super similar, subhanAllah, sharia and sha'air, but the ayn and the ra are switched, so it's not the same root. At first I thought it was, whoever honors the sharia is that's a sign of taqwa. And that perhaps it could be the case, but that's not what the ayah is mentioning, right? But the second part of the ayah is a phrase that has really stuck with me, subhanAllah, which is the وَمَن يَعْظِمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِن تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. Right? Then indeed that, and certainly that, no doubt about it, that is from the taqwa of the heart, you could say. And that phrase really sticks with me, especially when I like to think of this phrase when I'm in my normal day, and something so minor that most of us probably don't even think about it throughout the day as a decision that we can do. It's just so instant. But there's something we're about to do and it's mubah and it's okay, it's fine, whatever. Maybe it's something in which nowadays, in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, maybe that would have been makruh or haram. But nowadays, because the situation is different, it's mubah or something like that, right? I was just for example, you're out in public and you're at the grocery store and you're going to get the milk, and you go to the milk and there's a woman there with I don't know, whatever clothing and tight, and you can just she's not at the actual spot where you're gonna go get your milk, but she's next to it. So you can either just just go get your milk and just basically just ignore her, whatever, or you could just go get the eggs and then come back and see, not actually look, but see if she's still there, and then if she's gone, then alhamdulillah, right? That would have been better, right? So obviously, what would be the better one in terms, which one would be better? Which one would be at-taharu li qulubikum? Which one would be pure for the hearts? Probably the latter. Probably avoiding the woman, then go and get the eggs. There's no one at the eggs. Go get the eggs and come back and the woman's gone, right? That'll probably be better. But a lot of times, let's say the majority of people, 99.9%, they'll just get the milk and then go get the eggs, whatever, right? But when you sit and you think I really just want to go to the milk. There's not really much friction to go there anyways. Or I could just turn around. It kind of looks weird, I'm walking this way and then I just turn around, right? There's that little bit of friction, but I could just do the mustahab thing, right? When you choose the mustahab path, that is when I like to think of that phrase, subhanAllah. It makes me feel a little bit good, and I ask Allah to accept it from me and you. Ameen. ذَلِكَ مِن تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. Subhanallah. But anyways, the point that I was wait. But the point is that Taqwa obviously is a spectrum, right? إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم. إن أكرمكم عند إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم. In Surah Al-Hujurat, the last page, near the top. That the best of you is the one who has the most taqwa, right? So it's a spectrum, right? It's not like binary. Okay, Jannah and Jahannam. The best of you, so there's levels of Jannah, obviously. Part of that is gonna be how much taqwa you have, which manifests into your deeds and your iman, all that type of stuff. So one way you can gauge your own taqwa, inshallah ta'ala, is, or I want to say gauge it, but see if it's improving, a little bit by bit, is to see with these little, or sometimes even big, decisions, whether it's the milk and the eggs example that I just gave, or even maybe if it's like you're working out and you're doing like the curls and you can go hit your 10 reps and like you're basically gassed, but you may have like 2 or 3 more reps and you can just push that more. Inshallah, if you're training for the sake of Allah, then pushing for those 3 reps are probably an ibadah. إنما الأعمال بالنيات. So it depends on how much it's for yourself. This is for you to gauge your own self. This is not for you shouldn't be looking to other people and seeing what, like, oh, they're not really picking the path of taqwa and like looking down upon them. No, you have high expectations upon yourself and low upon the others. Maybe if they're your friend, who you're close with, that is righteous, then you can encourage him, but don't look down on him, man. And the point is, if you look at these, because a lot of these situations actually happen like every single day. You might not even, at some point you might not even realize it. Like I didn't even realize it a while ago, but recently I started realizing it. And once you start realizing it, and once you start picking the path of taqwa more, it becomes easier for you to do. And that's when you get good waswas. The shaitan has his waswas, but also something like I have like my nafs, inshallah, inshallah, not nafsul ammara bisu. I'm just gonna say ammara bisu, right? Inshallah, not that, but like nafsul lawama, nafsul mutmainna, right? My good or better nafs at least will say, hey, you've been picking the path of taqwa, now you're gonna stop? Don't you want Jannah Firdaus? Don't you want Firdaus? Why aren't you gonna do this? You need every single advantage if you want Firdaus. So then my good waswas, and I'm like, bro, okay, alright, let's do this. Even though like I'm not like, I might not be like wanting to do like the path of the mustahab, right? But I push myself to it, and I hope that it's an ibadah. Maybe sometimes it's just that initial friction of just making the decision that makes me that I'm like, oh, whatever. And then I'm like, you're doing this for Firdaus, inshallah ta'ala, so be happy about it. You picked the right choice. Something to think about. Bismillah ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum.